Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. It was a very good game for Liverpool as they managed to get a win over Arsenal at Anfield, and it was a great goal from Szoboszlai. I mean, from 30 yards out to be able to hit that ball and get it past Raya, it was a superb goal. And let's be honest, I mean, in the first half it was 50-50. Arsenal had more shots against Liverpool, but in the second half Liverpool dominated more on the ball and they had way more possession than Arsenal. And it took until the 70th minute for Arsenal to essentially start attacking Liverpool in certain phases of the game. And there was a lot of things that we can talk about in this match, and credit to Liverpool, they played very well. From Arsenal, it just came down to a couple of points really. And the thing is that we have to look at one of the most glaring things, which was the lineup before the game. A lot of people for the most part were okay with the lineup except for Merino starting in Odegaard's position. Now a lot of people would have probably expected, I don't know, Nwaneri or hell even Eze to start ahead of Mikel Merino in that position, because last season whenever we've seen Mikel Merino play in that CAM position, it's never ever worked out. I think it was either Brentford or Bournemouth. There's been many games where we played this stupid 3DM system and it's never ever worked, and it creates no opportunity for Arsenal to have some sort of creative outlook in order to attack in any way, shape or form. And to be honest with you, I understood the game plan as soon as we played Mikel Merino in the starting lineup. We just wanted to defend, we wanted to get a point from Anfield. We weren't looking to attack in any way, shape or form, in my opinion. And to be honest, the game plan was working up to the 70th minute, and then when we brought on Eze and when we brought on Odegaard, it just didn't look as great. I mean, I don't think they had that much of an impact. Yes, we did look attacking, but overall after that point when Zubimendi literally got the foul, gave them a foul essentially to Liverpool, it was pretty much that from there, from that side of things. And to be honest with you, some people talk about, say, Martinelli and Madueke, and maybe Arsenal should have done more on the offensive side of things. And don't get me wrong, I think on the right side, Madueke, he was doing well to get into duels with Kirkes. He was trying to get the ball forward, trying to always take on his man. For Martinelli, he was more focused on doing the defensive side of things and trying to help Calafiori against Salah. But the thing is that we can't keep making excuses for Martinelli, because he needs to do more on the offensive side of things. And we've seen exactly what Eze could provide on the left hand side compared to Martinelli. Now granted, I wanted to see Eze start. I'm sure a lot of people were expecting Eze to start or expecting Nwaneri to start, and this is one of those things where we can look to the manager and we can question, why did you play Mikel Merino in that position? No one expected him to start. I get what the game plan was, but I think Arsenal really need to be a lot more braver, because in the first half Liverpool were there for the taking. There's been a lot of talk about Liverpool being the underdog and this and that, and to be honest with you, there were chances that Arsenal could have had against Liverpool, but it's just a case of, had Arsenal had maybe started with an Nwaneri or started with an Eze, maybe this game would have been a whole lot more different. And this is the thing with Arteta we have to really look at in terms of going to Anfield. Yes, the record isn't great there, but you still need to have one player out there that can provide you some sort of creative outlook, essentially, whether it's Odegaard, whether it's Eze. There needs to be something, and to provide yourself with absolutely nothing and to just go into that midfield with 3 DMs, that's negative to me. And I get it, sometimes you just need to do that and you don't want to take risks, especially when you go against Liverpool at Anfield. However, I think after all this time, you have a strong enough team to give yourself a little bit of leeway in that regard. Overall, I thought that this game, I think the defenders did their bit. I think that a very big loss, which I'll touch on now, is Saliba. After 4 minutes for him to go down, it's very worrying, especially for the season, because as well as Mosquera came on and played, and don't get me wrong, when Mosquera came on, he looked comfortable, he looked with the ball, with his distributions, with his passes, with his positioning, he looked very good. But Saliba is a different kettle of fish, and we all know that. And for him to essentially be injured in this manner, thank God the international break is coming, and I hope he can come back very, very quickly, because we're going to need him, because he's a very important player. That doesn't mean I don't have faith in Mosquera. We've had so many additions into this team, especially in this transfer window, and now you have to think what would happen to Arsenal if we didn't make those additions. So hopefully Mosquera can cover for Saliba for the time being, and maybe we can get Hincapié from Bayer Leverkusen, who could also help out. But it is a little bit worrying in defense because Saliba was arguably the best defender. In terms of the other side of things, I just felt that with Arsenal, when Eze came on, he looked like he's showing glimpses of what he can do when he gets onto that pitch. However, a lot of players need to understand, if the referee isn't going to give the foul, if he's not going to give the penalty, then you got to stay on your feet, because I did feel there were chances where he could have got one-on-one with the keeper, but he went to ground way too early and way too easy in my opinion, and he just needs to stay up. And if he just took that shot, maybe the game could have been a bit different. And especially I saw Timber going down as well, which is, if the referee isn't giving it, then try and read the game a bit quicker in that regard. Overall, in terms of striking, Gyökeres was playing. A lot of people were expecting him to do something, but if you have a midfield like that, and if you're not able to get the ball forward to him and create chances, then what do you expect the brother to do? And I felt bad for him in that regard. And throughout this entire game, because we had the 3 DMs, we just kept crossing the ball, and I just hoped that we needed to find something in the middle, some through balls or some clever passages of play, but we just didn't see that, especially when Odegaard was on the pitch. And that's why I expected maybe Eze needs to be more central in certain scenarios and allow another player to go on the left hand side, just to allow him to do something in the middle. Because if we go into games and Eze's on the left, he needs to try and be effective and needs to try and help Arsenal with those low blocks. And the thing is, you can have the system, you can have the tactics, you can do all of that as much as you want, but in order for players like Eze to thrive, you need to give them the creative freedom. And in order for them to have the creative freedom, you just gotta let them drift down the middle if they want to, essentially. And I think with Arsenal, and especially with Odegaard as well, if we just do this cross and hope, essentially, just like we did last season, then it's going to be exactly like last season, which is something that I don't want. Overall, disappointing. Credit to Liverpool, great free kick. Raya did very well in this game. However, what can you do against a goal like that? It's one loss out of the last 3 games. I think it was 15 games we were unbeaten from last season as well. However, I felt bad because I really wanted Arsenal to win this game, but we just need to move on. It's a tough run of games. At least we got Anfield out the way, we got Old Trafford out the way, we got international break. I mean, 2 games and an international 2-3 games and there's already an international break. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what the hell is happening with football. But yeah, that's that. I mean, with the manager, you gotta be braver. You have to be braver going into these games. Yes, I get it, it's Anfield, but allow yourself some sort of leeway that if the game, in certain passages, if Liverpool are a bit shook to begin with, then take advantage. Because if you don't allow that for yourself and then you decide to change things later on, then the window of opportunity goes, because that's exactly what happened in the second half with Liverpool. They felt more comfortable and then they took their chance, and that's that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the game. Disappointing, but well, international break and on to the next one. Anyhow, please like and subscribe, please share this video, and hope to see you all soon. Bye bye.